Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Tennis star Naomi Osaka held a black-only party in Paris, and some people lost their minds. Yeah, they was mad, fam. I'm talking about they mad, big mad. Yeah. So, what did Naomi say about all of this after she was confronted? Because you know the media confronted her, right? Naomi said, "I will not apologize for celebrating being black." I ain't got no problem with that. Fam, let's get into this article in Yahoo. Naomi Osaka created a space for community and connection among black tennis players. There's Naomi on the right there. That's Taylor Townsend next to her there. As Naomi Osaka prepares for another run at Roland Garros, the four-time Grand Slam champion is also using her platform to create space away from the court. This week in France, Osaka and two-time Grand Slam doubles champion Taylor Townsend hosted an intimate private dinner celebrating black players in tennis, bringing together a small group of players and influential figures connected to the sport and its surrounding culture. The gathering, formally named the Black Party Roland Garros RG Edition and hosted at Soho House Paris in partnership with CCG Social, was more than just a social gathering during one of tennis's biggest weeks. It also served as an opportunity to foster deeper community among black athletes navigating a sport where representation has historically been limited at the highest levels. The dinner reflects a broader shift in how today's athletes are building influence beyond competition itself. Osaka, long recognized as one of the most powerful figures in women's sports, has consistently used her visibility to spotlight conversations around identity, mental health, and inclusion. This latest effort extends that philosophy directly into the tennis world, centering on connection and shared experience during one of the sport's most global events. Said Osaka at the event, "To be a minority in a sport like tennis makes most days feel really isolated. But when I see other players that look like me, I feel a sense of fellowship that cannot be described." We can stop right there, fam, because you know how it go. You know how it go. Look, fam, this is the cold part right here. White folks, back me up on this. Back me up. Why is it that white folks will not want to be around black folks, and then when black people do something by themselves, they feel excluded? They want to be included. You know what I surmise? I surmise that white people just want to have it their way. They don't want to come rock with you. They don't care about what you got going on, but if they want to, they need to be able to. If they want to be included, they need to be able to be included. That's what I see. They really like the idea of segregation as long as black people are not happy. If we're segregated and we're doing our thing and we're happy, that's a problem for some white people. They cannot stand that. They don't mind segregation. They just want to be the ones doing the segregating. That's the play. That's right, I said it. That's the play. They do not mind segregation. They just want to be the ones doing the segregation. Celebrity pro athletes, white-only parties happen all the time. In fact, if you don't see Serena and Venus, when they were playing, the party was always all white. They were the only blacks, and maybe if they had a guest, that was it. All the time. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. I'm going to tell you what got him also, fam, that title. black tennis party. The black party, that's scared. The black party, the black party. White people have the white party all the time. They just don't put it in the headline. They don't put it as the title. This titling of the black party reminds me of BET and MTV names. BET, Black Entertainment Television, for black people, right? MTV, Music Television, for white people. They just didn't put it in the name. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, they called it Music Television. But they excluded everybody but white artists in the beginning, in the very beginning. And even after, they still had a much stronger majority white artists being played on their station. And nobody said anything. But when you name it black, now you're being exclusionary. Now you are keeping certain groups away, and you're segregating, and you're being divisive. But it's the same thing. It's just a different name. It's just under a different name. Black people just tend to just say, you know what? They don't want us to do nothing. We're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna call it black. We're gonna call it exactly what it is. Whereas a lot of these white entities, they'll name it something else, but they'll still do the exact same thing. They will make sure that they exclude other people, right? They do the same thing. It's the same thing, just under a different name. That's all it is. I find it extremely funny. It's just funny to me how so many people out there do not care nothing about, they don't want to be, they say they don't want to be around black people. But then when black people go do their own thing, they got a problem with that. And what they're really saying is that they have a control problem. It's really a control problem. That's what it is. It's a control problem. You know, they never say, you know, you can't, you know what, this neighborhood is too white. We need some black people in this neighborhood. They never say that. They never say this school is too white. We need some black people at the school. The school is too white. We need some diversity. They never say that. Never, never. Now that counts. To me, that, you know, being able to live in the neighborhood of your choice and go to schools, go to the school that you think is the best fit for your child, that's way more important than going to a damn party. But they pitching a fit over this party, but they don't have that same energy for these neighborhoods and these schools and this healthcare. They don't have the same energy for corporate America. They ain't nobody complaining, ain't none of them complaining. They ain't going around saying, you know what? I just think it's too many white people out here. There's too many white people at this company. We need some diversity. We need some black people. The only time they want diversity is when they're pressured. And right now, none of them are pressured, so they got rid of, most of them are getting rid of their black employees. The only time they care about diversity is when they're pressured to care about it or to pretend to care about it. Because look what happened once Trump got in and he started telling those companies that they didn't have to be involved with DEI. They didn't have to have DEI programs. All of them, just not all of them, but almost all of them dropped the DEI immediately, including some of your favorite brands, some of the places that you go spend your money at the most. Yeah, they dropped those plans quickly. They dropped those programs quickly because they care nothing about diversity. They like the idea of segregation. They just want to be the ones doing the segregation. What say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.